Greetings viewers, EricTheCarGuy here, and today I want to talk about the awesomeness of the Demon carburetor that I'm using on the Fairmont project. Come check it out. So my Demon carburetor is special. It is a blow-through carburetor. It's designed for forced induction that is blown through the carburetor. Let me show you some of the features that make that possible. One of the main things that makes this special and work as a blow-through carburetor is that it has special passages coming in here on the back side of the throttle plates that go on the other side of the throttle shaft and the throttle seals. You might be wondering how these passages actually work. Well, the pressure that comes in here goes to the opposite side of the throttle shaft seal. Therefore, the pressure is equalized on both sides, so the seal won't blow out. It's a pretty clever design, if you ask me. I've got some vacuum ports. This one goes to intake vacuum, as you can see. This one goes to ported vacuum, say for distributor vacuum advance.
The larger one is also intake vacuum. It could go to your power brakes or possibly a vacuum reservoir.
For those of you familiar with the term Holley double pumper, it has two accelerator pumps on both sides, very similar to a Holley carburetor. In fact, all the Holley parts, carburetor parts, will work on this Demon. Accelerator pump discharge is up here. There might be a little fuel left in this. So on both sides, this is where the accelerator pump discharges into the carburetor. Carburetor has two bowls, one on each side, and a sight glass on both sides, so that you can easily set float level, which is super important. So not only is it a blow-through carburetor, but it's a see-through carburetor. You would adjust the float level by loosening the lock screw and turning this nut. And it's like that on both sides. You also have the option of mounting the fuel inlet on either side. You just remove that plug so you could have the fuel coming in from this side instead of this side if you so desire. It also has 4 idle screws, one for each corner. One there, one there, one there, and one over here. And those help adjust fuel mixture, so you can dial that in perfectly for like each bank of the engine. Additionally, there's an idle ease screw that's sort of hidden under here. Let me get a light, I'll give you a closer look at that. Down in there you can see that there is another screw for adjustment for the idle ease adjustment. Over here is the other side of that screw, which has passages that go to all 4 bores. So in essence, all this is an air mixture screw, so it's more like a controlled vacuum leak to help control idle speed. But the actual idle mixture is controlled by those 4 screws that I showed you. I'm going to cover all these when I do final adjustments when I put this on the vehicle. There were a lot of people that disagreed with my choice of carburetor because of fuel atomization. Check this out. These guys are pretty trick. They're the annular discharge boosters. Not only do they allow for more fuel flow, but provide a better booster signal and throttle response at low engine speeds. All these little holes inside these venturi help disperse the fuel to go along with the air going inside the carburetor. Think of these annular discharge boosters as a mechanical mass airflow sensor. Now what you see here are air bleeds, and there are 2 for each one of the annular discharge boosters. The outside one is for idle, the inside one is the high speed. And these are calibrated to help, well, maintain the idle and also the mixture. You might notice that the idle bleeds have the larger orifice and the high speed has the smaller orifice. The carburetor did not come with this fuel log. That I installed that later. However, it's very serviceable, and once again, all Holley parts. So you just pop this off. You can take the fuel bowls off with just 4 fasteners here, and you have access to the metering blocks, and you can swap out jets very simply on the car. Now I'm going to take a moment to show you the removal of these bowls. This way you can get an idea of what it takes to remove these. Once that main fuel line is disconnected, you can just remove, as I said, these 4 bowl screws. And they make a catch for underneath here, but I actually have a little plastic container that I put underneath here when it's on the car, because fuel will come out when you do this. The screws are a 5/16 head, or I'm using an 8mm here. Well, the heads are 8mm anyway. These screws are all the same length. There we are. There's the float, which As I said, you can adjust the level here. Here's the metering block, there's the power valve right there, and these are the jets. I have a special tool here just for removing those. I can link this in the description. It's got that special end on it, but you can just use this to turn the jets out, and thankfully they're all numbered, which is nice. So it's just as easy as this to go in and change the fuel mixture if you needed to. Just make sure when you go to put these back together that this lever makes it back underneath the screw head, or else the accelerator pump won't work correctly. I also have this jet kit in case I wanted to change jets. It has all these different sizes down in here in pairs. You can also alter when the secondary is open by changing this little rod right here. That controls the secondaries. And if you want to change how much of a squirt the accelerator pump has, you can change out these plastic cams on both sides. And also, I believe you can alter their orientation in a couple of different locations as well. Something else to note is the smooth transitions for airflow going down into the carburetor. It's all polished and nice, and you can just see the air slipping past it. And there we have it. My Demon 750 CFM blow-through carburetor that I'm using on Dark Matter Pikachu in my Fairmont project. I'm very happy with this choice. We've already put this on the dyno. It put out 574 horsepower, 622 foot-pounds of torque. Very impressive numbers for an engine of its size, and the boost was only around 7.8 PSI. The proof is there, people. Carburetor can work in this application, and I'm very happy with the choice. I'll put a link in the description to this and any additional information that goes along with it if you have questions. I'll also put a link in the description to EricTheCarGuy.com if you have automotive questions. Google+, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you wish to connect with me socially, be safe, have fun, stay dirty. I'll see you next time. Well, you'll see my taillights.